Okay, next up, we have our spotlight presentation, and we have Omar Sanders. He's our regional director for the Southern Tier, and he's going to present an update on what they've been doing up in the Southern Tier. So, Omar, the floor is yours.
Great. Thank you, Chairman, and good morning, directors. Happy New Year to all of you. I want to thank you for this opportunity to shine a spotlight on the Southern Tier. For this presentation, what I prepared is just a quick regional overview. I'll then go into some of the region's major assets. I'll also touch on some of the accomplishments that we've been able to demonstrate over the last several years. I'll then touch on some of the challenges for the region, as well as the strategies that we've developed to address these challenges as part of our strategic plan update. And then I'll conclude with some projects that I think really demonstrates an alignment as to how we're moving forward as a region to grow our regional economy. So next slide.
Omar, we can't hear you.
Oh, apologies. The Southern Tier is a diverse region comprised of 8 contiguous counties. That's Broome, Chemung, Shenango, Delaware, Schuyler, Steuben, Tioga, and Tompkins, with a total area of 6,200 square miles. 5 of these 8 counties border Pennsylvania's Northern Tier. The Southern Tier has approximately 640,000, has a population of 640,000, which is approximately 3% of New York State's total population. Although a substantial number of persons reside in rural areas and small towns, the region exhibits balance among its 3 major metropolitan areas. That's the Greater Binghamton area, Elmira Corning area, and Ithaca, as measured by population and economic output. The region's 2 major urban centers, Greater Binghamton area and Ithaca, are collectively home to roughly 1/3 of the Southern Tier's population, which is approximately 235,000 people. While the overall regional population declined over the past decade, these urban areas grew. So here you'll see Greater Binghamton grew by 1% and Ithaca by 7%. And I just want to note that when we reference the Greater Binghamton area, what we're really referencing is not only the city of Binghamton, but also the town of Union and the town of Vestal as well. There are 6 key industries that support our regional economy, and you'll see here, there are healthcare, advanced manufacturing, homeland and cybersecurity, agribusiness, and logistics. And below, I provide a list of our key employees and regional partners, which include Corning Incorporated, UHS, and Cornell University, just to name a few. Next slide, please. So one of the Southern Tier's greatest strengths and assets is our network of world-class universities, colleges, and community colleges anchored by Binghamton and Cornell universities. Academic institutions in the region awarded over 18,500 degrees in 2021, 86% of which were bachelor degrees or higher, and the region's top higher education institutions received over $1.3 billion in funding for research and development each year. Education institutions also play critical roles in supporting startups and providing workforce training, offering opportunities for Southern Tier residents across the region. So collectively, academic institutions bring over 65,000 students in the region per year. And from the regional council perspective, this influx of students is critical to the talent attraction, development, and retention strategy that we've incorporated into our strategic plan update. Next slide, please. So other strengths and assets include the region's emerging innovation ecosystem, which has created significant momentum in recent years, particularly around advanced manufacturing and clean tech. Incubators in the region have launched globally successful companies, and anchor employers continue to innovate and create the technologies of tomorrow. Anchor businesses and talent have helped capture the newest generation of advanced manufacturing, including in the transportation and energy storage industries. The region's architecture sector grew by more than 30% from 2011 to 2021, even as other industries contracted. Other assets include our natural beauty and top cultural amenities, which fuel the local tourism economy and provide recreation opportunities for residents. So as a result of these strategic investment strategies in the region, since its inception, 880 projects have been supported by the Southern Tier Region Economic Development Council. Through these strategic investments, 431 million in public support have leveraged more than 2 billion in private funds for projects throughout the Southern Tier for a total strategic investment in the region of more than 2.4 billion and the creation and or retention of more than 30,000 jobs. Next slide, please. So the Southern Tier is experiencing significant momentum, and last year was no exception. The New Energy New York, a multi-sector partnership catalyzed by 63 million Build Back Better Regional Challenge Award and the 50 million in New York State investment will further power regional innovation in energy storage. The initiative builds on work by the Nobel Prize winner Stanley Whittingham, a longtime member of Binghamton University's faculty and inventor of the first rechargeable lithium-ion battery to address needs in workforce development, the supply chain, innovation, and entrepreneurship support. Adding to the momentum, the Southern Tier received the federal designation as a regional tech hub, a recognition that NENY can drive regional innovation and job creation while strengthening American manufacturing and competitiveness. NENY was one of 31 winners nationally in this exceptionally competitive program. The designation unlocks significant potential for future federal funding, allowing the region and the state to expand on its Build Back Better award and further build out the battery innovation and manufacturing ecosystem. Also, just want to mention that Imperium 3, also known as IM3NY, an independent lithium-ion cell manufacturer that launched out of the Kauffman Southern Tier Incubator, established its first gigafactory in the Southern Tier, creating over 167,000 square feet of manufacturing space and providing as many as 3,000 jobs when it's at full capacity. These state investments are projected to help bring over 10,000 jobs in the region over the next several years. Next slide, please. So here in this slide, I provided some sobering statistics on the critical challenges for the Southern Tier. Outward migration has had an acute impact on the region's labor force, a major challenge as regional employers add jobs and seek to staff up. The Southern Tier labor force has declined at a steeper rate than any other region in the state from 2011 to 2022. The region's population peaked in 1990 and declined by 2.6% from 2000 to 2020. The largest population decline was in adults of prime working age, including those aged between 35 to 45, which you see is a 17% decline. While the state grew by 6.5% and the rest of upstate grew by 1%, population projections show continued growth for all of New York State, but continued shrinkage in the Southern Tier for the next 2 decades. Also, poverty rate is high among non-white residents at roughly 30%, with a 17% working age poverty rate, the highest of any region in the state. Also, housing quality and affordability are concerns across the Southern Tier geographies, income levels, and communities. There is a mismatch between housing supply and demand for units, with limited housing production beyond a few urban centers. Next slide, please. So as part of our strategic plan update, the Southern Tier Region Economic Development Council chose the topic of population attraction, development, and retention, recognizing that we need to have a more aggressive strategy to reverse the population projections for the region by incorporating these 4 strategies that you see here on your screen, which is cultivate Southern Tier communities as unique, desirable, and livable places, retain top-tier talent, train and educated in the region, establish a robust and adaptable workforce by developing new and local talent, and grow the region and fuel talent attraction by supporting future-oriented businesses. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned, as an update to our strategic plan, we revamped our region investment pillars that now include 5 pillars that you see here. This will become the region's strategic priorities and operate as a roadmap for future investment. Next slide, please. So here I'll get into some key priority projects. Some of these I'm sure many of you are familiar with, but I think they really capture sort of the direction that we're moving as a region and how they really match up well, I believe, with our strategic plan update and our efforts to grow our population and retain our talent as well as attract talent in the region. Next slide, please. So the first is the Battery New York initiative. I've mentioned this in the previous slide. This is the development of a national hub for battery innovation, manufacturing, and workforce development. This includes the establishment of a demonstration battery cell prototype manufacturing process, which will be the basis of the commercial and manufacturing line for new and advanced battery manufacturing technologies and related workforce and supply chain development. Next slide, please. Here is the Grow New York program. I'm happy that we were able, for the first time this year, to host the Grow New York in the Southern Tier. And just quickly, I want to just thank my counterparts in the Finger Lakes and Central New York for all of their efforts in helping to sort of manage and sort of administer this program. It's very successful, and we certainly look forward to hosting it again next year in Ithaca at the Ithaca Conference Center, which is another project you'll see here. But essentially, Grow New York is an interregional business competition. This program allocates $5 million per year for 3 years for a global food and agriculture business competition that focuses on strengthening the food and agriculture industry cluster in Central New York, the Finger Lakes, and Southern Tier. This is administered by Cornell University and funded through the Upstate Revitalization Initiative. Next slide, please.
Omar, I think we lost you again.
Apologies. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, great. The next one is the Cayuga Medical Center at Ithaca. Cayuga Medical Center is a Southern Tier Region healthcare provider. They received $2,973,300 in the URI fund to assist in the creation of healthcare learning center to train the region's workforce for in-demand occupations in the healthcare field. Training programs include medical technologists and respiratory therapists, certified nursing assistants, licensed practice nursing in the basic, pediatric, and life support areas. The total investment is $14,866,500. This project is scheduled to be completed in 2025. Next slide, please.
Omar, we've lost you.
Yes. Okay. Sorry, the mic keeps cutting in and out. Apologies. So this is the NextFlex New York node phase 2. In 2016, Empire State Development invested $20 million in the NextFlex phase 1. This initial investment was part of the larger FlexTech alliance spearheaded by the Department of Defense with a goal of developing flexible and printed electronics. NextFlex was one of the 4 manufacturing innovation centers established to develop new technologies for DoD and the Department of Energy. NextFlex focus is the development of flexible hybrid electronic devices for a variety of applications. And phase 1 is nearing a successful conclusion. The phase 2 application will include development in response to COVID-19 pandemic, as well as provide state-of-the-art solutions for other healthcare concerns, energy generation, and aviation. The university is poised to work with developers, manufacturers, and the supply chain in New York State to design, develop, and deliver critical sensing devices. The total investment for this project was $45 million. That was also out of our URI initiative. Next slide, please. And the last project that I wanted to present is the Downtown Ithaca Community Conference Center. This is located in the heart of the downtown Ithaca. This was a project that was in collaboration with Homes and Community Renewal. This is an 11-story mixed-use development that will include 217 units of affordable housing, 350 public parking spaces, retail, and a 39,000 square foot 2-story conference center. The conference center is estimated to serve over 200,000 people annually and generate substantial foot traffic to support businesses in the downtown area of the city, as well as create 60 full-time permanent jobs in the region. Next slide, please. And so at this time, I just wanted to quickly acknowledge the Southern Tier regional team. We are a small but mighty team. We have a really good group of professionals, starting with Janet Maxon, who's the executive assistant, Tammy Kosak, one of our project managers, Carly Creed Herman is our senior project manager, Carrie McKeever, our project manager, Donna Kilmer, the project manager, and Colleen Barton, our senior certification analyst. And just, they help to manage a lot of the workload in some of these projects that I presented today. So just wanted to just quickly give them a shout out. Next slide, please. And with that, that concludes my presentation. Thank you so much for your time, and I'm happy to take any questions that the board may have.
Great. Well, thank you, Omar. Great report. Hey, a question for you. When you were going through the big concern you have regarding your demographics, have you been able to ascertain, or has somebody been able to ascertain where the people are moving? I know the governor always talks about when people criticize the state and people are fleeing for different states. The statistics show a lot of them are going to New Jersey and Connecticut, not necessarily warmer weather, but up in your neck of the woods, are people heading to other regions of the state, like to Western New York or to the capital region for more job opportunities?
There's a little bit of that, but the vast majority of it, I think people are moving more into warmer states, more in the South Carolinas, things like that. Some of them are moving, with certain job opportunities of companies that maybe maybe relocating outside of the state as well. But that's certainly something that we will continue to dive into as part of our regional strategy to really kind of understand and figure out a way that we can hopefully not only attract talent but retain it as well.
Got it. I've got two more questions for you, just to educate me. When you were going through your assets and all your great colleges and universities, I also noticed you have two community colleges, Tompkins, and then I saw SUNY Corning. Is the Corning Community College just for Corning employees, or did SUNY brand that community college with the Corning name?
So it's Corning Community College because based on its location in the city, like in and around the area of the city of Corning. But it's a public college.
Got it. More to do with the community than the name of the company.
Correct.
The big employer.
Correct. Yeah.
And then
exactly.
I've been to most parts of the southern tier, and one part I haven't ever been to. I thought you guys had plans for it. I'm just curious, what's going on with Watkins Glen, and does your offices have plans to be helping them there?
Yeah. So Watkins Glen was one of our downtown revitalization initiative winners, and they have done a great job, exemplary in fact, in terms of really leveraging those dollars and really using it as a way to lure visitors in that area. Obviously, they have major tourist attractions from the wineries to the lake, and then obviously Watkins Glen International. So we've been working with them quite a bit with their downtown revitalization initiative in terms of their mixed-use development and some of their commercial development. We're also and our co-chair Judy McKinney-Cherry, who leads their economic development team for the county, is very heavily involved in the regional council, and so we continue to work with them, but we're also with all of our rural communities in trying to bring more opportunity into these areas of the region.
Great. Well, it's a beautiful part of the state, and it's great to see all the projects and progress that you're making up there. So congratulations. Rob?
Yeah, just real quick, I just want to say, Omar, congratulations. I really think as someone who, works in the Central New York region, we look often at the Southern Tier right now with envy about how you're collectively approaching opportunities in pursuit of federal funding. So Build Back Better, NSF Growth Engines, Tech Hubs, you all have a very good thing going and a good team of partners. And so I just want to acknowledge that and call out that great collaboration. We need more of it around the state.
Great. Thank you. I greatly appreciate that.
Great. Thanks, Rob. Anybody else have any questions for Omar?
Yeah. Do you have any initiatives to keep the students that are graduating from like Binghamton University in that area? I know that in Rochester, the Rochester Chamber of Commerce works with a lot of the universities to make sure that that we keep the students attending those colleges in Rochester.
Yeah, so what I can share with you is that a number of the colleges that I mentioned, or that were on that slide, have quite a bit of programs where they introduce students to opportunities in the region as a way to try to retain students. I will say that we certainly could be doing a better job at that. That's part of why I highlighted that, to demonstrate that more than 65,000 students come through the region a year, and we need to be more aggressive at figuring out how to capture that talent and to retain them in the area. And so one of the things that we did as part of our approach to our strategic plan update, and I built a work group specifically with the college and university presidents. And the goal for this work group would be to collectively address just that, is to figure out how do we not only tap into their marketing efforts and how they sort of promote the region and promote their areas and promote opportunity, but figure out how we can have more of a regional strategy around that and really identify what are some of the needs, or what are some of the things that students are looking for beyond just the jobs, right? So it's more about the quality of life, right? So like for me, I'm from Long Island. So coming from here, Long Island, one of the things that kept me in this area was the fact that I was able to get a job in economic development. And then as I started to become more familiar with the area, I started to see a lot of the great assets that the region has to offer. And so here I am. And there are other sort of what I would call success stories like that. And we need to sort of do more of that. And that's part of our strategy. When you saw it said amplify the Southern Tier story. Really what we're talking about is, how do we, we know that we have a lot of great things to offer, but how do we amplify that message? How do we get it to this student population, to others, as a way to keep them here, to hopefully to continue to grow our population?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right, well, Omar, with you and your team, keep up the great work, and thanks for the presentation.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Bye-bye.